Let me ask you something. How many times have you said yes when everything inside you was screaming no? How many times have you bent over backward, drained yourself dry, just to keep someone else happy? And at the end of the day, did it make you feel fulfilled? Or did it leave you exhausted, resentful, like you were losing yourself a little more each time? That, my friend, is people-pleasing. It's when your happiness takes a backseat to the expectations of others. It's when your worth feels tied to how much you can give, how agreeable you can be, how little trouble you can cause. And the worst part? It chips away at you, piece by piece, until you wake up one day and realize you don't even know who you are anymore. I know this struggle personally, and trust me, it's a brutal way to live. I spent years trying to be the good one, the reliable one, the person who never disappointed anyone. I thought if I could just keep everyone happy, I'd finally feel accepted, like I belonged. But the truth? It never filled me up. No matter how much I gave, it was never enough. Not for them, and definitely not for me. So, how do you break free from this cycle? First, you have to recognize it. People-pleasing isn't just being nice. It's when your self-worth is so wrapped up in approval that you sacrifice your own needs without even realizing it. It's agreeing to plans you don't want, taking on responsibilities you can't handle, apologizing for things that aren't even your fault. It's smiling when you're hurting, nodding when you disagree, dismissing your own feelings just to keep the peace. Sound familiar? If it does, don't beat yourself up. Awareness is the first step. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. Now let's talk about breaking the pattern. And I'll be honest, this part is uncomfortable as hell. Because setting boundaries when you never have before? Saying no when people expect you to say yes? It feels like you're doing something wrong. But you're not. You're just choosing yourself for once. And that's not selfish, it's survival. You don't owe anyone constant access to your time, energy, or emotions. You don't have to explain yourself every time you decline something. A simple, "No, that doesn't work for me," is enough. At first, people might push back. They might guilt trip you, act disappointed, even call you selfish, but that's not your problem. That's just them realizing they can't manipulate you anymore. The real game changer? Self-compassion. Learning to be okay with not being liked by everyone. Understanding that you are not responsible for how others feel about your choices. And most importantly, accepting that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. And this is where you start prioritizing you. What do you actually want? What makes you happy? Have you even thought about that? Or have you spent so much time catering to everyone else that you've forgotten? It's time to reconnect with yourself. And that means making space for what truly fulfills you. Whether that's spending time alone, pursuing your passions, or just finally allowing yourself to rest without guilt. But here's the thing. Escaping people-pleasing isn't just about saying no. It's about saying yes to your life. Once you break free, you have to decide what kind of life you actually want. What excites you? What makes you feel alive? What's something you've always wanted to do but never did, because you were too afraid of what others might think? Maybe it's starting that side hustle, traveling solo, cutting ties with toxic people, or just giving yourself permission to enjoy your own company without needing validation. I've seen people break free from this trap, and let me tell you, it's incredible. I've watched people who spent their whole lives saying yes out of fear finally step into their power and say no with confidence. I've seen them rediscover what they love, what they stand for, who they truly are. And you know what? Their world didn't fall apart. In fact, it got better. So here's my challenge to you. Stop waiting for permission to live your life. Stop dimming yourself just to make others comfortable. Choose you. Not because it's easy, but because you deserve it.